wanted to talk today a little bit about 360 chain roll and kind of how it influences things agronomically on your farm. When we designed chain roll, we wanted the same breakdown effect as a chopping style roll, and the reason for that is there's valuable nutrients inside that stalk. So we wanted to get that stalk opened up, allow moisture, air, microbials into that pith to really break down and release those nutrients quicker than what we see out of a typical roll. What we saw as an issue with some of the chopping style rolls on the market and some of those chopping heads is we left that residue in real fine, small pieces that were difficult to manage in the springtime. So when we look at chain roll, the way it functions is it pierces that stalk, it pierces that rind every 1.25 inches. So it's poking holes in that stalk and it's opening that up to allow for that faster breakdown. But what it's doing is it's leaving that stalk in about 7-inch pieces. So when we look at it next spring, whether we're running no-till or we're conventional tillage, we leave that stalk in long enough pieces for those row cleaners to grab that and sweep it out of the way, make a nice clean seed bed. So when we look at how a chain roll functions, it's actually got teeth as well as cutting flutes. So as those rolls come around, it's piercing that stalk every 1.25 inches, but the cutting flutes are cutting it every 7 inches. With the way that design works is when it comes to wear, that also gives us an advantage. So some of your traditional chopping style rolls, your intermeshing rolls, as they wear, those blades get further and further apart and they start to lose effectiveness pretty quick as they wear out. So what chain roll does is the way they intermesh is those teeth and those knives actually sharpen themselves as they wear. So as you put more and more acres on these chain rolls and they start to wear, the performance remains consistent throughout their life versus some of these other rolls on the market that will eventually lose performance as they start to wear. So when it comes to chain roll, we've got them available for a wide variety of different heads. So we've got them all the way back to the 40 series deer, all the way up to the new deer heads, and then we've got them available for the Geringhoff North Star and the Case 4000 as well. And when it comes to install, they're extremely similar to what you've put on your OEM rolls. So for the deer roll, it's a single roll that are timed when you put them on the shafts. For the Case and the Geringhoff, it's a little bit different design. They function extremely similar to what the deer ones do, but it's a plate design that goes on similar to the way your Geringhoff and Case 4000 do. So as far as running chain roll in the field, you're going to run them pretty similar to what you run your OEM head. We may speed the head up just a tad depending on ground speed, but if you do have any issues with performance, contact your dealer, contact us at 360 and we can be sure to point you in the right direction as far as how to operate that head, maybe tweak it a little bit differently than what you run your OEM rolls. So when it comes to chain roll, we've been extremely impressed with what we've seen over the last several years. The agronomic value has been excellent and the wear quality has far surpassed what we expected to see out of them.